A disturbing trend has reared its ugly head in recent weeks. Jewish Zionists have been staging anti-Semitic incidences on U.S. college campuses in record numbers. In May 2024, a Jewish man staged an anti-Semitic incident at the City College of New York's anti-genocide encampment. The man approached a small group of youth sitting on the encampment lawn, their faces covered by keffiyehs. As the Jewish man approached, he raised his hands in the air, shouting, "Don't shoot." When the youth with keffiyehs got up to escort him out of the area, the man ran away, artfully, in the words of Masha Gessen, who bore witness to the incident, as if he was being threatened. The whole affair screamed, manufactured antisemitism. In a second case, Yale University student Sahar Tartak alleged, "I was stabbed in the eye last night on Yale University's campus because I am a Jew." The story quickly became a meme when the video of the putative stabbing surfaced. The video shows a protester waving a Palestinian flag as he passed by Tartak. It's unclear if the flag made physical contact with Tartak at all, let alone if there was any intentional contact made by the flag holder. It seems more plausible there was intentional contact made by Tartak herself, given her camera-ready reaction. It's also unlikely the man carrying the flag could have noticed Tartak was wearing Jewish symbols, as Tartak alleges, since it was dark and he was marching by in a pack of other protesters. The whole affair screamed manufactured antisemitism. In a third incident at Columbia University, an unidentifiable blonde-haired woman with her face mostly obscured by a keffiyeh held a sign in front of a pro-Israel group that read, "Al-Qassam's next target." But, awkwardly, the alleged pro-Hamas woman misspelled the name Al-Qassam. Also, shockingly, she was not confronted by the pro-Israel protesters, who apparently had no interest in uncovering the identity of this pro-Hamas agitator. Meanwhile, Dr. Logan Levkoff, who claimed she was at the scene of the protests, lied and said she was standing with the pro-Israel group, even though she was not. Incidentally, she not only resembles the unidentifiable woman, but she's also an NYC-based, self-identified, big and huge Zionist. Could she be the woman of mystery? The whole affair screamed manufactured antisemitism. In a fourth incident, a woman stood up in the quad at Yale University wearing a t-shirt that said Jew on one side and Israel on the other, screaming, "Dox me," and "I am not afraid." Her aim was obvious, despite her failure to attract any attention at all.
Look at my face! I am not afraid! Put my face on camera!
Manufacture antisemitism. In a fifth incident, a Jewish Israeli walked into the middle of the MIT encampment shouting,
"Can you come and help me, please? That's it. I feel unsafe. Can you come and help me? Could you please come and help me? That's it. I feel unsafe and I'm afraid."
In fact, hardly anyone was paying attention to him. It's almost as if the guy is satirizing himself until you realize his ultimate aim is to manufacture antisemitism. The hoaxes would be comical if they weren't so effective. Media elites and politicians have regurgitated the false narrative ad nauseum, falsely labeling peaceful anti-genocide protesters anti-Semitic.
We are witnessing propaganda in real time. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this since probably the Iraq War. The coverage of the campus protests makes the coverage of Gaza look good.
What's ironic is that the Jewish and non-Jewish anti-genocide protesters seem to be the only ones facing any actual violence. They've been attacked not just by police, but also by pro-Israel agitators, such as at UCLA. The greatest risk to the safety of Jews on campus has been to those Jews who are standing up against genocide, ironically, the same people being falsely labeled as anti-Semitic.
My mother's Jewish. I grew up Jewish. After attack by Zionists and Proud Boy white nationalists, we had 25 hospitalizations because our people had their heads split open by paddlets and wooden and stumps that were thrown at us. We're going to continue to be here. We're going to continue to fight for Gaza, and we're going to continue to fight for the people of Palestine.
So how did we get here? Recall that Zionism first catapulted onto the scene of world history in the 19th century because of antisemitism. Zionism then gained the support of most of the world's Jewry, also because of antisemitism, especially the rise of Nazism. But as Israel has increasingly become a pariah state since October 7th, Israel's supporters have grown increasingly hungry and thirsty for more antisemitism. But because it's been so noticeably absent at the campus encampments, Jewish Zionists have resorted to inventing it. It's a sign that Israel's apologists have lost control of the narrative and are now resorting to the most desperate tactics to win back the public.
I came here today because I am Jewish. A lot of my family are Zionists. As I grew older, I kind of started to gain my own perspective and, kind of started seeing what Israel was doing to the Palestinians.
There's of course nothing new or novel about the manufactured anti-Semitism. In fact, it's been at the core of the Zionist propaganda toolkit since the establishment of the State of Israel. During the 1948 war, the leadership of the Jewish community in Palestine spread the anti-Semitic lie that the Palestinians and the Arabs had called for throwing the Jews into the sea. After all, if the Zionist foot soldiers believed their adversaries were bloodthirsty anti-Semites, that would encourage Jewish fighters to leave as few Palestinians as possible in the areas that would become part of Israel, as historian Dr. Shea Haskani suggested. Today, many believe incorrectly that Arabs and Palestinians issued such declarations during the 1948 war. But Dr. Haskani, who spent 15 years looking for such calls in the hundreds of propaganda documents from 1947 to 1949, was unable to find even a single Arab or Palestinian call for pushing the Jews of Palestine into the sea. Instead, Dr. Haskani explains that the idea first appeared in official Zionist propaganda during the war years. In 1948, the anti-Semitic rhetoric came not from Israel's detractors, but from its leaders. Today, the fabricated slogan isn't "throw the Jews into the sea," but rather "rape is resistance, and babies are occupiers too." These stickers were allegedly found on the streets of New York by pro-Israel agitators. The slogans are so patently outlandish and reminiscent of the other cases of manufactured anti-Semitism that the most likely culprits are Israel's Hasbara warriors themselves. Since its origins in the 19th century, anti-Semitism has fueled the rise of Zionism. But now that anti-Semitism has become so rare at the university encampments, Zionists have been compelled to invent it. It's a desperate sign that Israel's long-standing control of the narrative in the United States is collapsing in real time.